Push the button. That means it's time to start talking. What are you guys doing? Hey, it's Mark. It's the nerds that know. How you guys doing? I am here with my brother Matt. Hi. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm all right, man. Start of a very long weekend for me, so I'm super, super excited about that. So more on that maybe later. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then the other person joining me is another brother of mine, Frank. What's up, man?
Not much. Been painting and remodeling houses the last 2 weeks, so I've just been kind of staying outside all day.
How's the remodel and paint job going?
Pretty good. Got most of Mom and Dad's done, and now I'm working on ours.
Nice. Hell yeah. Big things happening there. Big things happening. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk nerdy stuff this time. We're going to talk some things that we haven't talked about in a long time. Are you guys excited about this?
Always.
Oh, okay. We're super excited about this. So let's get going. We haven't talked in a while, and since last we spoke, the Doctor is back. And the Doctor has come back with a couple of new things, and he himself is new. He's the 15th Doctor now. This is Series 1. Seen a few of these episodes so far. What do you guys think of this one, Matt?
You know, we got a Dr. Light episode super early into the series, which I kind of found interesting, but it worked. And then the one immediately after was Dr. Light-ish. I'm really enjoying the way Ncuti is playing not only the Doctor, but himself. And it reminds me of the way that Matt Smith played the Doctor, where you got a glimpse of the personality of the man behind the role, as it were. And the interplay between he and Ruby Sunday has been great. The dialogue has been fantastic. The most recent episode really broke some barriers, and in terms of one storytelling and a very important barrier for the Doctor. And it's been great so far. And I welcome everything they've done with open arms.
We are going to talk pretty exclusively about new Disney Plus stuff. We're going to get into some stuff that Star Wars has come out with these last couple of weeks here in a little bit. A lot of people having some feedback about this stuff. I'm really excited to hear what that's all about. Having just watched the episodes myself of Acolyte. But Frank, what do you think of these new Doctor Who episodes?
I like it. I like the approach that he's taking with it. That, like you said, it's a lot of his own personality seems to be coming through, and that I love that part of it, when the person playing the Doctor kind of allows themselves to be part of the character. I think that's super important, for us to take it seriously, and not in like a hostile way, but to really enjoy and get ingrained into the show, any type of show. I think that it's important for them to have part of their personality as part of their character. And like you said, the Dr. Light episodes, I actually don't mind when they do that, especially when they're telling such an interesting story without the Doctor really being a big part of it, because he's going to play a role at some point, but focusing it early on the partner of the Doctor can be really effective. And they did it, a couple times in the past, obviously, that went well, and they've done some that weren't great. But if they're telling the right story, it's pretty amazing, honestly. So I've been super happy with it so far.
We haven't encountered any of the old fan favorites, which has kind of been the rehash of this show since it came out in the late 2000s. You're gonna have a Dalek episode, you gotta have a Cyberman episode, and they've kind of skipped that and gone on to these new things. And the Doctor is finding literal gods, and I've found that very interesting. Like we're just talking about straight deities now, and that's been a lot of fun. And I think you guys are right, Matt. You said it. That Stephen Moffat episode really kind of made me think of Matt Smith all over. And I think that was on purpose, because he makes the mention about his favorite thing being fish fingers and custard towards the end. But I think whereas the previous new docs have all had anger and stuff like that as their primary other besides, just the pure wonder that is the Doctor. This Doctor's emotion is sadness. He is very much, he is super emotional and very sad, and he's kind of taken that next step beyond, just being angry about everything that's happened in his past, and he's now just kind of, he's trying to see the joy in things, and because of that, it's making him sad about stuff that he's seen. And I've really liked the way that they've kind of done that take on it. And you guys are right, Shuti has been amazing. This guy has been incredible. And every episode he's done a little bit something different with his wardrobe, which has also been refreshing, because I get why they did that for 50 years, because it was good on the pocketbook. Especially in the 60s and 70s, it was easy to just have one costume and just run with it, because that's what every show did. But we're in 2024, and clothing can get, you can get clothing on Wish for like 29 cents for shirts. Why can't the Doctor fuck around with his wardrobe a little bit? And they explored that a little bit, and they're doing a lot more exploring of the things that everyone's talked about with the Doctor so far. Like, let's talk about the fact that the Doctor's companion always gets into wardrobe, but the Doctor's always stuck in whatever he was wearing. He's getting into character now and going out on these things. It's been nice. It's been nice seeing a couple of things like that, and putting a new spin on some of the same old stuff that just kind of puts it in a different perspective has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, follow up what you're saying. I actually agree a lot with the, to this point, especially since the reboot of the series, all of the Doctor's default setting from their wonderment is the anger. And that does wear on you. It's good when it happens sometimes, because you need to have this man that, his entire being, I guess is the best way to put it, is devoted to wonder, that when things get dismantled or dysfunctional in front of him, he resorts to anger. But with the new Doctor, it's definitely more of a case of sadness, like you said. Like, it's forlorn for what could be, and for what he went through, and an acknowledgement of everything that happened to this point, that he doesn't have to resort to anger now. He can just kind of see, I feel sadness for these people more than I feel anger for them now. And that is an interesting take on it now, that you have this deeper, more emotional aspect to it than it's just resorting to anger when people get in his way. And I actually really like that too.
I'm reminded, Mark, you mentioned the costumes of the 60s and 70s. One, they had a $10 budget per episode, so there really wasn't.
I understand that. Like I said, I understand why they did it.
Right,
it's 2024.
I'm also reminded of a particular Doctor who I think wore the same stalk of celery stapled to his jacket for the entire season. I don't think they changed that thing out at all.
You could see it getting brown.
Yeah, just continually got more floppy. Like, come on, bud. I will say this, and I know, Mark, you haven't had a chance to watch it yet. The Doctor anger returns, and it returns in a way that makes sense for the character, makes sense for the story. And it's a Matt Smith thing. It does have to do with danger to the companion. I'll leave it at that, since it just came out, and we are going to get into the spoiler territory when we get into this other Disney Plus stuff. So I won't completely rehash everything, but it definitely reminded me a lot of Matt, and the way, and we've talked about it before, and it's been some time since we've actually discussed it, but one of the things I really liked about Matt as the Doctor was the way that his eyes would just turn black when he would get upset and angry and threaten whatever whatever was in front of him. It could have been, a universe ending threat. And he's like, you come after me and my friends, and I'm going to end you. And just the way his eyes would tell the story about how mad he could get, and the well of rage that dwells within the Doctor. We saw a little bit of that on this week's episode, and it was spectacular. Smurf.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey. Good. How are you?
What's up, buddy?
Good. Trying to get your thing going. I apologize for the late start. I agree with what you said about Doctor Who, but can we go an episode for crying out loud? Every episode.
that is a legitimate point.
I can't.
I mean, I think that's
cry quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this week's episode was probably the best episode of old school Doctor Who, paying homage. We got new Jack Harkness. We've got some revisits to some great tropes that we've come to love. But I mean, it'll be one of the best of his opening year. Big Gatwa did a great job playing the Doctor this season. And this is his best performance so far.
I couldn't agree with that more. That spot on. This last episode was just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
I can't wait to see it.
And Mark said it, they've done it without using the traditional big bads. These are all new monsters that don't have any backstory to them, so you're kind of finding them out along the way.
Well, and it feels like a lot of like Christopher Eccleston's first season, we're reestablishing Doctor Who, Disney Plus. They're doing a lot of things that he's done before, but it feels like a bit of a rehash. I mean, it's like deja vu, like the overarching storyline. There's just a lot of things that feel so similar. So like we've seen this bag of tricks before. Stopping on it,
and much higher budget.
Yeah,
way higher budget.
Let's fucking talk about the special effects because they've been spectacular. When you're on a spaceship and it's just not a dark hallway for the 35th time in a row, it's actually open and there's windows with things going by in the windows. It's super refreshing to have like a set piece that's just not a stainless steel corridor. You know what I mean?
I'm fairly certain the
one
Christmas episode budget, it was the entire Christopher Eccleston season budget, I'm assuming.
Right.
Well, either that or that one that metal staircase that has been in like every Doctor's since up until like just last year. It's that one hall stairway.
Yeah.
It against the Rachnos. We saw it. You saw it. We saw it with Unit. I mean, how many find that is just that one?
the same set piece over and over and over again.
And not just the practical effects and the special effects, right? We had an entire episode where that was filled with nothing but E-Trade babies, which was awesome, right? Like that couldn't have been cheap to do that to all those kids.
Yeah, and the bogey monster.
Monster.
Oh.
It's like a rehash. We had like the gray matter after you're sleeping, and it's just I'm waiting to be. I haven't had like this stand or the applauding moment. We haven't seen that.
I'm sorry. I disagree with you there. I think the whole Maestro episode was that for me, but I'm a music guy, and every bit of that episode was fucking magical. Even down to the detail where they had Paul McCartney playing a left-handed bass. Like, it was so fucking well done. And the Maestro themselves was just an amazing character too. Like, from the costume to everything else that was going on. I thought it was just flawless.
I mean, I liked it. We've had more musical episodes. I feel like we're Sweden film, but I mean, it's okay. The Doctor didn't do shit. The Beatles again, triumphant. Yellow.
Some of the best
bitch all the way to the spin.
Some of the best episodes. The Human Companion or the Human's Companion's Companion is the one who saves the day, and those are the best episodes.
The Doctor was done. Sometimes. But we got like 2 episodes left.
Sometimes.
What are predictions? I have a theory because I the new Jack Harkness is one that waits, because the liner at the end that he gives, like, and then he drops like a stone. I think he's the one that's waiting.
Could be. They like to drop hard hits like that.
That actually would be interesting.
I
That
mean,
might be right.
because he's bitter, he's angry, he's been waiting for centuries, and the doctor still. So he went to go find the doctor and made his way back when the barriers were broken. The one that waits is the Captain Jack Harkness new character, Rogue.
Who needs to answer the phone?
That's me. Apologies. I do have to take this. Carry on.
All right.
All right. Okay.
It's like, that's not my phone.
I like your theory on the Harkness is the one who waits. That is an interesting approach to it. Honestly, I'm waiting for them to do their reemergence of one of the big bads from the past, and I think that's going to happen in the last couple episodes. We're going to get some kind of return of either this, the Cybermen or something like that, where it's going to be just this big return to, the former glory, just to let us know that it's going to happen, that fan homage kind of thing. So I expect that to happen in the next couple episodes.
And there's two different arcs here too, right? There's the one who waits, and they've really only mentioned him 2 or 3 times. But there's Ruby Sunday's story too, which it's all going to tie together. There's going to be something there, because we don't know who Ruby's parents actually are, and that was a bigger deal earlier in the season than it is now, and they've kind of let it simmer. And I'm really interested to see how they're going to tie the whole thing together. We're going to get, this episode's the story of Ruby Sunday. That's what the title of the damn thing is. So I think we're going to get a lot there. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, it's a safe bet that we're going to get a big dump.
They still keep hitting, even at like 46 yards, where she even made the reference when she was older, the snow would. These little subtle hints that RTD likes throwing in there, like vote Saxon. These little things, the drumbeat of 4, so that Ruby might be a key element. Now, who dumped her off, though? Who is the
right? That's going to be, I think, key to the whole thing. And that's what I think is going to tie both of those storylines together. I think they're tied together inevitably.
It's going to be the monk Dr. Matt Smith, that version of
running around with handles.
Yeah.
So there was a rumor, and I don't know if this was true, but Sean Perch was to make an appearance in soon as the third Doctor, and it was rumored that he was supposed to be in these last 2 episodes. So I don't know if that's holding true. Companions
maybe he's
are hanging out at units. Maybe no, it would be kind of dark. I don't know. We've got Doctor, because I honestly was surprised, but then I was like, oh no, that isn't the Valiant, the BBC radio dramas. So what they do with all of the different Doctors, it was like the big Nemo Doctor. I'm from the constellation of Casabras. I'm 100 and some odd years old. Your ass. That's ad-libbed a little bit.
It's good. And I know you guys have seen the picture, and I'm glad you brought it up. The Sean, and this happened 3-4 years ago, but Sean Pertwee actually dressed up as his dad with the wig and everything. And dear sweet baby Jesus, it looked good. Oh my God, it was awesome.
It looks just like him. In the magazine cover pose. Damn.
Yeah.
That apple did not far. That jelly did not fall far out of the bag.
Good call out. Good call out. All right. So what, Tank, what are you looking for in the last 2 episodes?
Oh, like I already said, I want the big return on. I do want it, and maybe just a hint. Doesn't have to be a full episode thing, but just that what lurks in the background. This still exists, kind of a situation to give us something to look forward to next year. I think is a big one, and then the big. I kind of agree a little bit with Smurf on I want the big. I'm the doctor, don't fuck with me moment. And I think that's going to play out in the next couple episodes too.
Smurf, what are you looking for?
I really want to see Inshuti just come out. I want to see a Time Lord angry. I want to see a Time Lord victorious. And I know he's have all the weight of the other doctors on him, but he says lives of the companions that couldn't make it, or the people he's left behind. But he's crying all the damn time, and it's hard to take someone, seriously when they're up in front. I want just that moment he steps out and the doctor, and you're going to be the bad guys, and this is the role you'll have, and just go at it.
And I want to see another.
Yeah.
Too. And I said it before you jumped in. We saw a little bit of flash of that Dr. Anger in the last 10 minutes of the episode this week. It was just there for a little bit until he realized what was actually happening, but he was ready to send every one of those folks to whatever dimension he was going to send him to. And like, look, this is it. We're done. Let's go. So they've teased it. It's there. I think they're aware of it. Yeah, I think it's coming.
Yeah, what was the hunters when it was the when he locked one forever only being seen in a mirror? He locked one into a different dimension, yeah. Constantly being tortured.
The blood, the flam.
Yes, gonna have one of those kind of moments.
Brother of mine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The fury of the Time Lord.
That's right.
And I mean, I don't know. I still kind of throw bullshit on the fact that he didn't go see Ruby's body. I've never not known the doctor to physically check he could save them or just something, And I kind of have that, but he's been so dismissive. A lot of things that I've taken for granted from the doctor.
It's definitely an interesting take on it, for sure.
I'm going to take you out to the ball game.
Okay.
That's a different podcast.
You need a baseball first. That's all I'm saying.
I have one that wins a few more than the local boys. But anyways, that's besides the point. Sorry about that, guys. Some tumultuous times at work, and one of the other people that I work with was calling to fill me in on some things that were happening. So I needed to take that call. So apologies. It sounds like we're still talking about Doctor Who stuff.
No, I think we just about tied it up.
Okay. Well, the most important thing is keep watching Doctor Who because it's amazing and we like it. So there you go. So the next thing we want to talk about, and this show just came out. The 3rd episode just dropped. The first 2 dropped the week before. It is also on Disney Plus. It is the new Star Wars series. It is Acolyte. And I just got to watch these, the first 2 episodes right before the cast. So I'm a little bit fresh on everything that's going on. I know that there's a lot of stuff online about what people are mad about. I haven't seen any of this. I've been kind of staying away from it just because, honestly, I'm just trying to keep a fresh perspective like I always do, which is why I don't look at the agenda until right before the show, because then I can just do it all natural. But anyways, I thought that the 2 episodes were great. It was very Sean Bean of Game of Thrones to kill off the main character, or the main actress that you came for in the first 15 seconds, and she's back now, but whatever, it's fine. But I was just like, oh, okay, like I'm fine with it because all these other actors and characters are great. But I just thought it was just hilarious. Just like, okay, the Jedi dies at the beginning of the show. That's how we're going to start this thing. I'm really enjoying the tech side of it. I always love a good Star Wars movie because of the spaceships. The Duchess and I were talking about it actually while we were watching. She's dead, but still actively watching with me, and how everything in Star Trek is very, cookie cutter is a good word because it's all fleets. And, every ship looks the same for the most part. And they're all, designs of one spaceship, and there's 30 of them, and they're all sleek and very nice. And the Star Wars looks like it's very organic, and everything is put together in patchwork. And I just love that technology. And the droids are always amazing. Matt and I were talking about it, that the pre-gonk was awesome. The pre-door droid was fucking amazing. It kind of had the familiarity of the door droid that, was in Return of the Jedi, but, also very fucking primitive, which was very cool. I really like, what is it, Pip? Pip is kind of a fun little droid that's very fun.
The Pip droid.
Smartphone, yeah.
I'm fucking enjoying the shit out of it so far, to be honest with you. So I don't, whatever. I want to hear what the hatred's all about. But first, I want to hear what you guys think about this, and then we can go into what the people are saying and make fun of them for that. So first, your opinions, please. Anybody, go ahead. I don't care.
First, I could go for an hour because I just talked about this.
Maybe not an hour, but go ahead.
Go for it. So, all right. So I love Soul. He's very reminiscent. I was just trying to find the Jedi that he's very loosely kind of a Padawan from the High Republic. He's a legendary Jedi. Everybody who his level, Soul is his Padawan. So there's a lot of said it's 100 years before the new the Galactic Empire means Yoda's around. So I'm kind of waiting to see Yoda show up. And we've already broken one of George Lucas's cardinal rules of never be a Wookiee Jedi. So that's kind of interesting, and that's what a lot of the hate's no Wookiee Jedi, and that's not true. In canon, there is a couple of Wookiee Jedi. So to see them take a page of that is very cool. I was worried when we were starting this, and I know I'm about to say a lot of people me in space story. I really didn't want to see it. I don't care. I want a Star Wars story. That they've bypassed all that. I love the mere kind of sect that they created. I love this the High Republic. All of it, beautiful. The robes, the prestige. I mean, this is great. And Soul he's the Qui-Gon. He's the rule breaker. Like what they've put forth. I think it's good. And I'm excited to see whoop saber.
Matt, what do you think, buddy?
Kel Naka for the win.
Kel Naka.
God, yes.
Kel Naka.
Right. So it's let me preface all of this by saying I've really enjoyed everything so far. It was fairly obvious from the outset that Asha wasn't the killer. Just in the way the two characters were portrayed on screen. One's obviously filled with rage and anger and hate. The other one was just bouncing out the walls full of joy. Like, let's go fix some shit and play with my droid. I'm like, that's not even the same bitch. So that was fairly obvious from the outset. I'm not a giant fan, and I for Nord, Jedi Nord is kind of wooden.
What's his name? Yord?
Yord, whatever, the young kid, right? The one who in every interview he's ever done keeps saying that Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Here's what I don't like about Yord is if you're supposed to be a Jedi, you're supposed to be selfless. How long do you think it takes him to do his hair every day?
I know, right? He's just a little wooden, and so I'm not a giant fan of his. However, I fully agree 100%. Soul is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Definitely on the list of all times so far. They still could do things to screw that up. We'll see what happens. The story has been great. I love the riff on the Witches of Dathomir, even though that's not what they are. And I want to learn more about this coven and this sect and what they're doing and how they're doing it. Very, very intriguing to see how they're going to tie what they're doing right now with leading into Darth Plagueis and how that's going to lead into it. Because this is all going to tie together, because at every Star Wars, everything's going to tie together at some point. So we know it's so. And this is about 100 years before Phantom Menace. So we're definitely either looking at the acolyte of Darth Plagueis as an apprentice, or we're looking at the acolyte of someone who's an apprentice to Darth Plagueis, because that guy lived for forever and ever. So who knows what that's going to look like. I'm really excited to see how it's going to be. There is one criticism that came out before the actual series dropped that I find actually a little bit truthful. It's got a little kernel of truth. Red lightsaber. So, and I forget, some of these names escape me because I'm old, but the one Jedi said the Sith haven't been seen for a millennia. So we know that they haven't seen a red lightsaber for a millennia. So they're going to have to solve that conundrum at some point. The criticism I got and I understood, but watch the damn show first and let them figure out how they're going to do it. So there's going to be a thing there, right? And I really enjoy how they're telling the story of more than just two versions of the Force. The Force is such a massive piece of the galaxy in this universe that they have crafted. There's going to be more facets than the Jedi and the Sith. And I'm really want to dive more into this sect. Now they're all fucking dead, but whatever. I really want them to dive more into this sect and how they're living and breathing and doing things with the Force, even though they're calling it something else. Let's see more facets of this essence that dwells within everything, and everyone's going to have a different take on it, right? I really want to see more of that. I think it's super interesting.
Agreed. That story about Darth Plagueis is not a story a Jedi would tell. Frank, what do you think about the show so far?
I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying a lot of the visual aspects of it, because they're showing you the world before we saw it to begin with. So there's little things that they've played with, like on just the different environments where everything is a little bit more clean. Everything's a little bit more hoity-toity, a little bit more elevated. You can see that like there is a lot more power and control that the Jedis possess over the system. Like they control everything. They are the galaxy's police, essentially. And I don't think we're supposed to like Yord. I think that's very intentional, that he is supposed to be one of the High Republic Knights. That's what he is.
Supposed to be a toolbox.
Yeah, he's supposed to be one of those, break no rules, hyperactive police Jedi. That's what he is. That's what he was trained to be, because that's what the era of the Star Wars universe we're in now is. These guys were all about dominance and control because of what happened 1,000 years before.
Can I clarify my dislike for him? It's not the character; it's the actor and the way he's portrayed.
Oh, it's the actor.
I think the betrayal is wooden. That's what I don't like.
Okay,
I haven't seen enough of him to like him or dislike him. He's had like 6 lines.
But okay, but I think even the character we're supposed to dislike this guy because he is an obvious hyperactive police representation. I think that's what he's supposed to be. But I like all these small things, the interconnected things of just the way they phrase things and the way they kind of look at the Force and how it's connected to the different things. Because they are calling back to things that happen in the future, which is funny. But they're calling back to things that we understand. And just little common sense thing or common lines of thought that have passed even all the way through the New Republic and the Empire and all of that stuff. So I like all of that, all of those little things. I'm getting a lot of the Kill Bill vibes from May, right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Very much like a checklist of shit I need to accomplish, and nothing standing in her way to make that happen. I like the approach that they're doing with that.
Smurf, I feel like. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done, Frank.
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Smurf, I feel like you had a couple of things you wanted to add, but you're on a little bit of a delay, so you're not able to jump in. You want to jump in real quick, bud?
So I emphasize that the Jedi are a police force. So and they taking the time to like, okay, we are a police force, and the red crystal for them to see, and we see an orange lightsaber like right out of the gate. I love that. So there is saber lore involved with that, and I'm very curious if we're different dichotomies of saber styles, focusing so much heavily on the Jedi. But I think it's refreshing to be away from the Skywalker saga. Just a simple
Agreed.
Star. I mean, this is what I was hoping for. This is what I've been praying for from Disney Plus. Not nonsense. The Mandalorian was a fluke. Everything past that is just work. Let's try. So to see, and there's always going to be that. When you read the EU books, a lot of this, and I'm excited that they actually took the time. They did the reason from a lot of the material that is already out there. They're not making shit up. It already exists in the EU. Again, them being smart and them doing the right thing. They're paying homage to the fans, and the fans don't even know it. Piss.
Good point.
I also like how they tied in visually. They made Star Wars look like a wushu film, and it's just been, if you think about it, Kung Fu masters of the 70s were
Makes
Jedi.
sense.
I mean, yeah, right. I mean, I saw Crouching Tiger. That was some Jedi ass shit, man. I mean,
that was the original intention.
Right?
That was the original
well,
intention.
no, the original intention was Seven Samurai. That's
right.
where it came
Yeah.
from.
But still, same. Like that. We're getting more of that feel, and it's awesome.
Right.
I think it's funny that they're feeding spice to children. Does that make it?
The spice cream?
Spice creams.
Does everyone not acknowledge that spice in this universe is drugs? And they're giving it to children.
wrong universe, but yeah, well, that's fine.
No, spice. Spice is what those guys were running.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
On
Yeah, that's right. It was a spice.
That's what got
runners.
Boba Fett all pissed off for the Spice Runners.
Yeah.
Now, they're probably some sort of.
It's like rubbing bourbon on the gums of babies.
Yeah, you're giving LSD to children to calm them down.
How many spice creams are you going to eat? I'm going to have at least 4.
Yeah, right.
A night, May. You're in for a night.
It was a different time. It was the past.
Yeah, sure.
Let's remember it. Even though things look familiar,
right?
It's really a long, long time ago.
Yeah,
where there were knights using sabers of light. It's not the future.
Laser swords.
Laser swords.
So let's go ahead and get into some of this controversy. I haven't heard anything. I know you guys have kind of touched on some of the things. I don't really know much about what the people are saying. I generally tend to think that the angry people don't realize that this kind of content isn't necessarily for them. They make it for other people besides just one person. And so that's where kind of like I'm going to roll my eyes a little out of this, but I'm interested to hear what people are saying. Who would like to tell me what's going on with this?
Here's the biggest thing that I've heard that has really chapped my ass. Someone came out, and this has been multiple people that have said this, and I think it's just, the same group of trolls that are parroting each other. They're saying it's not Star Wars, they're changing the canon. Motherfucker, they get to write whatever canon they want, right? This is they own the property. They can create it and add to it. And what they're doing is they're adding to it. We already know that you don't necessarily have to have boy and girl to have a force-sensitive kid. We already know that. We already know that you can use the force. Already happened, right? It's already, and it's been in the comics, right? We already have seen the picture of Darth Sidious wrapping his arms around. And look, I said it before. They're exploring different ways that the Force can impact lives and in ways the Force can be used. And just because it's not just light side, dark side anymore, shut up and just enjoy the story, bro. It's not about what you remembered watching in 1977 and 1981 and 1983. It's bigger, it's better, it's different now. Star Wars has always been inclusive. Who is the first hero you see in Star Wars?
Big, tall, black man?
Episode 4.
Oh,
He's not a hero. Who's the first hero you see in episode 4?
oh,
Princess
The
Leia.
very yeah.
Princess
Princess
Leia is
Leia.
the first hero on screen.
R2D2?
No, they're not heroes. They're narrators.
The only woman in the galaxy?
Yeah, but you know what? She was a badass. She looked that Sith
What?
Lord right in the eye. I'm like, I smelled your ass, right? I mean, Star Wars has always been about bigger, better, more things that look different than I look, things that sound different than I sound, things that aren't what we eat and drink. I mean, the blue milk thing, right? I mean, there are so many different pieces of this universe that's one, fiction, fuckers. Two, is in a galaxy far, far away. You don't think things are going to look a little bit different. You don't think things are going to be a little bit askew to what you're used to just because you want to put it in your own little box. I get so sick and tired of people who are upset about a piece of fiction that continues to grow and has been growing for almost 50 years. Like, just fucking get over it. I'm off.
Well, and that's just.
But I guess
they're wrong.
This
They're wrong.
yeah. Go ahead.
It's not like they're inventing new shit. This is stuff that is canon. This is stuff from different sources. It may not necessarily be exactly how it shows, but this is shit that's already been established. So for them to throw their little, hate speech and keyboard warrior bullshit, because go and like immediately throw shade, enjoy the ride, and witness. I'm a Jedi. I'm gonna sit. Mike right there.
And let us not forget, Thrawn wasn't canon until he was. None of that
right.
shit
Timothy's
counted
son.
until they started talking about it, right? So get over it.
Yep.
I mean,
Timothy's
it
on
comes
was
down to
pissed because
it's this.
they were like,
No, you're good. Go ahead with the Zahn take.
well, I mean, Timothy Zahn, heir to the Empire, got committed that they didn't even touch it. They're nope, not even interested in it, and they needed a big bad. And Thrawn was the worst, biggest, and they didn't have to put any. Already was well laid out. Well laid out by Zahn. A masterpiece.
I know, Matt, you agree with that, and Frank, I think we
100%.
all agree with that. That it was. You're absolutely right. I don't think I've agreed with you on anything more than that, Smurf. But also, we're talking about fiction and a fictional universe and things that don't exist, and you're allowed to make them up. And it's good storytelling to advance that story past the original author's idea, while keeping most of the element of the story intact. Otherwise, you're just telling the same story over and over and over again. And that makes me want to unalive somebody. Frank, what do you think about all this?
I agree with you on that. And a big chunk of this, especially, stuff that was coming out before the show even started, stuff that came out immediately following up the first episode, this, I don't understand. They were sexualizing things that weren't sexual. Just because these two people have this emotional relationship doesn't mean anything. And then you find out that it plays zero role in the story that they're telling. The bond between these people is completely because of the coven that they're in, and that it's the power of two. concept, and that's what is telling this story. Is it doesn't matter about anything physical, anything like that. It's the emotional bond of two people and how much power that can create. And just to have that, all the stupid comments coming out about this relationship is like, we don't even know yet. And then we end up finding out that it doesn't matter because it has zero impact on the story. So what are you bitching about? And that's the part that got me, was that, like, there is no need for all of this stuff. We don't know what's happening yet. So why are you putting so much effort into hating something that we haven't even figured out yet?
You know why, Tank? Because it generates clicks.
I guess that's true. Controversy equals cash, right? That's the old
And
mantra.
because people need to go outside and touch the grass.
Sometimes.
Vitamin D will make you very happy. Jesus Christ.
Sitting outside and touching it?
No problem with smoking it. No problem with smoking it. But go
Just go
outside
outside and
and
smoke it.
just make sure you get some fresh fucking air, man. Go to a fucking restaurant. And talk.
Leave
Oh
a
my
window
goddamn
open.
window.
Yeah.
Go to the fucking library,
Leave a
bro.
window.
Fucking go on a nice long drive, bro. Like, go for a walk around the block. Go see that there's other people around, because you're not
Do
the
a
only
nature-
person in existence. Jesus Christ.
Nature walk.
Nature walk.
Nature
Well,
walk.
it's like the people
Nature
who get
walk.
mad because there's a Jedi hanging out who's overweight. Like, we had a conehead Jedi, for Christ's sake. Get
Right.
over it, bro. I'm like, good God. Jesus.
Does anybody realize
Porkins to this
that
day is still my favorite pilot.
Porkins, right?
Porkins. Yeah. And that guy was in the military.
Porkins!
One of
No
the
way he
greatest
fit it.
Jedi of all time.
Wait,
One of the
me?
greatest Jedi of all time was the size of Pikachu. Let's talk about that for a second. Like, anything is possible in this universe. And one of the things that draws people to Star Wars is the fact that anyone can be a Force active, right? Like, that's kind of the thing, was like, oh, you didn't know you were Force active? Cool. You can save the universe. And that's one of the great parts about the Star Wars saga, is anybody can have these powers. It's not limited to one person or one race or anything like that. It's like, you don't know because it's a mystery.
Well,
A Sith
He's
Lord.
the Sith
I'm telling
Lord.
you that right.
Oh, 100%.
Is the Sith
Yep.
Lord.
I said earlier that we didn't agree on anything more than that point earlier. Jar Jar Binks and I, that's what you and I simpatico, my friend. Jar Jar Binks.
I think I saw that Darth Jar Jar is going to make an appearance in the Star Wars Lego movie that's coming out in September.
That would be
That's
fantastic.
That would be
bullshit.
so good. That would be so good.
It gives Pharrell
So you might be on
powers of singing.
Oh,
Just have him punch that fat Gungan in the face. And Jar Jar just bunk.
oh my god.
Gills and spit.
So good.
Right. Look, at the end of the day, there are people on this planet who exist to take joy away from everyone else. And those people just need to shut the fuck up and allow those who enjoy something to enjoy it. If you don't like it, don't watch it, dude. If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's not for you then. Bugger off.
And
Well, and that's
It's a-
his take. The boys' take. If you heard this, they're like, if you don't like it, fucking change the channel.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
This
Right.
isn't
Yeah.
for you then. Hell.
Yeah.
Watch something else, fuckers.
It's
Mhm.
And I
okay that
love
not
that
everything is for you. You don't
Mhm.
have to like everything, and that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
Nope.
That's fine.
I don't like
Innocence
Harry Potter.
explode.
Sue me.
I don't
Careful.
like Top Gun, Matt. It's
Yeah,
that's one
see?
of those things.
Right?
No, yeah.
I have no weird opinions about anything.
No, none.
No, not
I have
a
no
single one.
controversial opinions.
Short people
Not
take
a
a
single
long
one.
walk. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Still hate
Long
those
walk
movies.
with
Don't
short
care what
people.
anyone says.
Long walk with short people.
That's right. They walk twice as many steps.
Somehow they take
It's
a
a
good story
very,
and turn it
very
into a
long
14-hour
walk,
pile
okay?
of crap.
It's a super long walk, man. Like with bare feet too.
Fuck.
Well, it's a lot of hair. They got padding.
All right, are we good on the Acolyte stuff?
I think
Can
we're
we
good on the
put this to
Acolyte.
bed?
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
Put it to
Well,
bed.
check
Let's
it
tie
out,
up.
man. Let's go ahead and watch that shit because it's a pretty good show and it's a different take from a galaxy long ago, not just long ago. It's super long ago because this is 100 years before anything that we've seen on film before. So that this has been kind of fun seeing a new side of it. Anyways, we are the nerds that know. We have Smurf here. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Man, it's great to see
Good to see you, bud.
Great to see you.
I'm on tour right now, so you will see me on the regular. As long as I'm not doing something for Colorado Festival of Horror or the Colorado Ghostbusters or 5280 Geek, I will be here with you guys.
Hell yeah, looking forward to it, man. We've got I know we'll probably run into you a couple times here in a month at Fan Expo that's coming up. The
Expo,
panel looks
baby.
pretty incredible for that. Yeah. Anything you want to go into detail about what you got going on there, Smurf? Pimp some things. What you got going on?
The Fan Expo, we are returning as the Colorado Ghostbusters. We'll have a booth set up. Also have your ability to test your there. We are also taking donations for the wildlife habitats, which has. We did a charity walk with them last week, and it is amazing. Okay. They have like the Tiger King's tiger, and I'm just so we are taking donations cool on their behalf. Donation, we will give you a special Ghostbuster, a Slimer, a Buddha Slimer, a print from one of our local artists. God knows what we'll pull out of our little bag of tricks.
That sounds awesome, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys down there. Yeah, absolutely, man. Looking forward to seeing you guys down there.
You guys are going to be there.
Yeah, we'll be down there for sure. So, yeah, you'll see us multiple days. The Duchess already has 2 or 3 costumes planned out, so we're looking forward to it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Wow.
Yeah. Matt, what do you got going on right now?
Fuck all. You can catch us on the opposite weeks.
Thank you, jackass. Do you want to talk about the other thing?
I'm sitting in my kitchen talking nerd shit. What do you think I got going on right now? It's Father's Day weekend. I'm planning that. How about that?
Fucking looking forward to. By the way, looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a great time.
I'm going to see you Saturday too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we're going to see you Saturday. We're going to see you Sunday. We got golf coming up with the Emperor Goon. And the Prince Goon will be joining us. So we're going to have a full foursome playing a quick little par 3 at Inglewood and lunch after. So that's going to be a good day for Father's Day with the progenitor. On the opposite, you can catch us, the 3 of the 4 of us, on My Brother's an Idiot, our sister podcast, where we talk about sports. It's kind of the dog days of summer, but I'm sure we'll have some NBA and NHL stuff to talk about. You can make sure you catch us on all of our social channels. Mark's Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok are at Poffle Time. My Twitch and Twitter are at Poffleupicus. You can also catch me on TikTok at King Goon Smoke. The Goons can be found wherever you can find everything socially at the Idiot Goons, unless you're looking at TikTok and then it's Idiot Goons. You can also search My Brother's an Idiot on Facebook. That page is live. Mark launched a fantastic take about the Lakers coaching situation this morning. And yesterday I talked about Joey Chestnut not going to be the hot dog champion for the 16th time in a row, which is sad.
And we posted something about Bob Roski.
Bob Roski. It's the greatest joke ever.
Frank, what do you got going on, brother?
Not much going on here, but planning for some stuff coming up soon. Sports stuff. I got a couple ideas that I'm working on, and I got some short form stuff working up for the nerds also. You can catch me on the socials at Tank Knox or Knox Nostalgic Collectibles. Working on some new recipes for some cookies too, so we'll see those soon, I think.
Delicious, scrumptious cookies.
Are these magic cookies?
I do not include any drugs in them, but yes, they could be considered magical. I'm going to put some spice in some cookies and see what happens. What would be the
Spice
spice
cream.
equivalent on Earth?
Yeah, just frost them with some spice cream.
Is that angel
Just-
dust? Is that what it'd be on Earth?
4.
Just 4 of them.
Day cookie dough.
Yes, and the Duchess always has things going on. Check her out at Duchess Bobby on all the socials. She's posting a lot of really great stuff. We're also on the Nerds That Know on Facebook. Fun, lots of really cool interactions going on Facebook. There's some videos on TikTok of the Duchess talking or the Duchess and me talking. Hopefully some stuff with Frank coming up too for that one. Some really cool little shorts coming up. We have all kinds of things we're talking about. So check us out on all the socials. And then, wherever you can podcast, find us too. For the absent Duchess, who misses you guys, I'm sure. Frank, Darth Goon, Mr. Smurf, I am Mark. And this has been the Show of Record. Kindly go fuck yourselves.
Your audio's cutting out, dude.
I hear him.
What are we doing with Big Sticks this week?
Fuck off and die trying.
Is that Die Hard 6?